ambitions. If clearly he had enemies, we may have had scores to settle.
The Greek Coast Guard says at least 14 migrants have died in an incident off the island of Chios in the Aegean Sea. At least 2 Coast Guard officers and 25 migrants were injured. They've been transferred to hospital on Chios. The Coast Guard says the migrants' boat collided with their vessel while they were being ordered to turn back. Greece is a favoured gateway to Europe for migrants and refugees from the Middle East, Africa and Asia. President Trump and his Colombian counterpart Gustavo Petro have smoothed over their differences in a meeting at the White House. Mr. Petro said that despite their many differences, they shared a love of freedom.
Las fotos creo y el ambiente de la reunión creo demuestra.
The atmosphere of the meeting, I believe, showed an encounter between equals, who think differently, yes, with different powers, obviously, but capable of finding common ground.
The meeting followed months of tension, mutual insults on social media and threats of military action. Peter Bose reports.
Colombia and the US are long-time allies, although in recent weeks the two presidents have been sparring over the flow of illegal drugs and the US operation to capture Nicolas Maduro in neighbouring Venezuela. But Mr. Trump said they got on well during their meeting at the White House, while President Petro said the pair shared a positive and optimistic view, and that they agreed that sanctions were not the way to go. He said, what brings us together is freedom, adding that he hopes the US, Colombia and Venezuela could unite to combat drug trafficking.
Thousands of Venezuelans have marched in the capital Caracas to demand the release of Nicolas Maduro, a month after he was removed as president in a deadly US military operation. The demonstration was organised by the government, which is led by Mr. Maduro's former Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez. She's been cooperating with US demands, particularly on granting access to Venezuela's oil reserves. This is the world news from the BBC. The US retail giant Walmart has become the first traditional retailer to get $1 trillion market valuation. Value now approaches that of big tech companies such as Nvidia or Apple.
दोस्तों 1413 किलोहर्ट्ज़ पर ये BBC है, BBC इंग्लिश। सुबह के 7:30 बजे से आप इसे सुन सकते हैं, लेकिन देखिए रिसेप्शन बहुत डाउन आता है।
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said he will not allow the Palestinian Authority to have a role in post-war Gaza's governance. Under the Trump-Gaza peace plan, the role of the PA, based in the occupied West Bank, was left unclear. The Spanish government has become the latest country to say it will look to ban social media for under 16s to protect them from harmful content. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said online platforms should implement effective age verification systems. The news follows other European countries considering tougher stances on children's access to social media. That's the latest BBC News.
You're listening to the newsroom with me, Paul Moss. They were all smiles and bonhomie when Donald Trump met the Colombian President Gustavo Petro. The two exchanged gifts as well as compliments. Hard to believe, really, that just a month ago Mr. Trump referred to his Colombian counterpart as a sick man who likes making cocaine. And while Mr. Petro may not have used quite such colourful language, he in turn had denounced Donald Trump, particularly for ordering attacks on Venezuelan shipping. But on Tuesday, it seems, that was all water under the bridge.
He and I weren't exactly the best of friends, but I wasn't insulted because I never met him. I didn't know him at all. We got along very well, and we're working on that. We're working on some other things too, including sanctions. We had a very good meeting. I thought he was terrific, and he was great. We got along great.
Colombia's Gustavo Petro wasn't quite so effusive in his praise for his opposite number, but he too made clear that a frozen relationship was definitely thawing.
Sí le dije que es entre libres y uno uno no puede actuar bajo estos
I told him that between free people, one cannot act under blackmail. And I think the photos and the atmosphere of the meeting show a meeting between equals, who think differently. Yes, with different powers, obviously, but capable of finding common paths. That's it. Nothing personal.
While the two presidents may have been able to kiss and make up, it wasn't clear what they'd actually achieved in concrete terms. Though, as our South
1413
American
किलोवाट्स पर
correspondent
दोस्तों ये
Daniel
BBC
Wells
इंग्लिश है
explained,
सुबह के 7:30 बजे से आप इसे सुन सकते हैं मीडियम वेब पर
Both leaders have suggested that they are now working together.
वीडियो को लाइक
on
कीजिए शेयर
what
कीजिए
Donald
चैनल को
Trump
सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर
what that
लीजिए
might be at this stage, but
वीडियो
what
देखने के लिए
Governor
आपका
Petro
बहुत
pointed out as
धन्यवाद
well is